Hi guys, this is Michelle Powell with Professional Manner. Today we are talking about 6 things you should never do in public if you want to save your professional image. Hi everyone, thanks for joining, and those of you who are on the replay, we are talking about 6 things you should never do in public. I'm Michelle Powell with Professional Manner. I provide training in the area of business etiquette, and we've been talking about saving your professional image all week. Hi Nike, can I have a name please? I would love to know who's joining by first name so I get to know you as you tag along with me. I'm on day 6. I'm a newbie on Periscope. This is my 6th broadcast, and I want to thank you for joining in. I have made a confession each time that I am a procrastinating perfectionist. I have been wanting to jump onto Periscope for a while, but I was trying to figure out how to do it just right. Hello, and you can call me Jax. Very cool, Jax. I like that. So I'm getting over my need to be a perfectionist, and I'm doing these live broadcasts. It's good practice, right? I'm enjoying the community that Periscope provides, and I think it's a really great platform, so I'm going to take advantage of it. Again, this is day 6 for me, and I've put together a challenge for myself and for you. I hope that you will swipe up if you're on Android, or swipe left to right if you're on iOS, and click the follow button so that you can tag along as I bring lessons and tips on business etiquette. But I have a challenge for myself, and I've called it the 12 for 12. I'm going to broadcast every day for my first 12 days, and I'm asking for 12,000 hearts in those 12 days. So if you're interested in this topic of business etiquette, please tap the screen so I can see the hearts flying. Lets me know that you are interested in this subject matter. And as we move forward, I will share more and more with you as to what that all entails, what business etiquette is really all about. So the challenge for me and for you is the 12 for 12. For the first 12 days of my periscoping, if that's a word, I would like to have 12,000 hearts. That means that folks are listening, they're interested, they're paying attention, and this is meaningful and valuable content for you. And at the end of that 12 for 12, on the 12th day, I'm going to do something really fun that hopefully you'll laugh at. I know I certainly will, because I'll be doing something very silly. But the other thing is that I have a special gift for you. For those of you who do share the hearts, for the top 3 heart givers, I have something that I'm going to announce for you on that 12th day that we can share exclusively, those top 3 with me. So hopefully you will stick around for that announcement. Okay, so today we're talking about 6 things to never do in public. If you are interested in improving, repairing, correcting your professional image, there are some things that you need to keep in mind when you're in the public, when people are watching. So that's what we're talking about today. If you're just joining in, I'm Michelle Powell with Professional Manner. If this is something you think a colleague needs to know, then swipe up and click the share button and share that with those who are in your community on Periscope and Twitter. And you can also send this to someone specifically. So you can also do this, by the way, on Facebook. You can share it that way. So let's dig in. The first one of 6 things you should never do in public. The very first one is never attend to your personal hygiene. Now that may sound kind of strange, but how many times have you been sitting at lunch and you look up and you see a woman who pulls out her lipstick and her makeup mirror, and she's fixing her lipstick there? Or how many times have you seen a person grab a toothpick and they're digging in to clean their teeth? That's personal hygiene. Those are things that should be done in the restroom. So if you're attending to your makeup, reapplying it, or you're getting something out of your teeth, or picking your nose, God forbid. Some people do that and they're not even thinking. They just kind of rub, and the next thing you know, So that's something you don't want to do in public. If you're trying to Protect your professional image. So, number one of the 6 things to never do in public is to tend to your personal hygiene. All right, number 2 is to never discredit your company or your competition or even your clients. I've overheard people in a public place who are bad-mouthing their company. In fact, I've been in retail stores where I'm going through a checkout line and I hear fellow employees talking about the management and how poor it is, or complaining about not getting off on time or being able to take their breaks and that sort of thing. What does that do for your customers? When they see that you're complaining in public, what does that do for your image? What does that do for your overall company image? That's not good. And that's something that can lead to reprimands from your company or even getting fired. So bad-mouthing your company or your clients or even your competition in public is a no-no. You never know who's listening. You can be overheard by someone, and in this day and age of technology and everyone's carrying their phones around, someone can record that, and you never know. It could end in a lawsuit. Things can escalate. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to never discuss confidential information in public. Now again, this seems like common sense, but I have heard people talking about some plans that they have. They're negotiating a deal and they're sitting and talking with a colleague. You never know who's listening, who's around. It might be a competitor. It might be someone who's just gossiping and they want to tweet that real quick. Oh, guess what I just heard? And now it's all over the public domain, and it could ruin or even cost you that deal. So talking about confidential business matters in public can be dangerous. It can cost you quite a bit of money. And number 4, we're going through a list. In case you're just joining, this is Michelle Powell with Professional Manner, and my subject matter is business etiquette. What we're talking about today are the 6 things to never do in public. Those of you who are tuned in, if this is interesting to you, then please let me know by tapping the screen with hearts or ask a question. Let's have conversation about it as well. I don't want to just throw some things out like it's a lecture and then move on. And by the way, if you're interested in having this entire list, I'll tell you at the end of the broadcast how you can get that so you can share it. It's in a very easy platform. It's a PDF file that I can share with you, and you can pass it around the office in case someone needs a hint. Okay, you can share it in the workplace. So the first 3 that we've reviewed of the 6 things to never do in public, the first one is never attend to personal hygiene. So if you need to fix your lipstick or clean out your nose or anything like that, combing your hair, you should never pull out a comb or do all of that, especially if you've just eaten a meal and you're in a place where food is being served. That's a no-no. So that's the first one, never attending to personal hygiene. Number 2 is not to discredit your company, your clients, or your competition in public. Number 3 is not to discuss confidential information in public. Now, the next one, and so often we do this when we're on our personal time, we hold people hostage to our cell phone conversations. How many times have you been on public transportation, you're riding a bus or train or somewhere where you're locked into a cabin and another person is on the phone and they are either conducting business or they're talking to their friends about their escapades from last night, or complaining about their in-laws, or talking about their cat's photo shoot, or whatever it is that's not of interest to everyone else around, but their volume is so loud that you can't help but be involved in the conversation involuntarily. So that's something that you don't want to do in public. It's a matter of common courtesy, but also it's an issue of protecting your professional image, because you never know who's around, who's listening, who's getting annoyed by that conversation. Okay, number 5 of the 6 things to never do in public. Never display poor table manners. This is a big one, I would say, for many professionals, because this is an extension of how should I say this? Having bad table manners is just not attractive. Let's say it that way. And if you are having lunch with colleagues or your boss, Ames Marketing, I know who that is. Hi, Chris. Thanks for joining. We're talking about the 6 things to never do in public, and I'm actually on number 5, so I will do a recap. And thanks for the hearts. I do appreciate that. I don't know, Chris, if you were on my broadcast yesterday or if you watched the replay, but I've decided to do a challenge, and this challenge is for both me and my followers, which, by the way, if you haven't clicked the follow button yet, then please swipe up on Android or swipe left to right on iOS, and thank you, Chris, and click the follow button. And if this is a subject, the 6 things to never do in public, if this is something that is of interest to you and you think that one of your colleagues would be interested in hearing it as well, or they need a hint, then click the share button. So we're going through the 6 things to never do in public. What I was saying was that I'm doing a challenge, 12 for 12. Since I'm a newbie on Periscope, I am challenging myself to do 12 days of broadcasting. And for that 12 days, I would like to reach 12,000 hearts. So if you're watching, then please tap the screen and give those hearts. And for those top 3 heart givers, I'm going to have a special gift for you. I will announce on that 12th day. All right, so that's the challenge. We're on number 5, to never display poor table manners in public. This can really ruin your professional image because it's distasteful. And furthermore, if someone that you're dining with knows better, then you're really in trouble. There are lots of things that have to deal with poor table manners. I'll give you some basics. We'll do a separate lesson on that. I'll do dining etiquette for business. If you're interested, say yes, dining. That will let me know that I need to plan a lesson for that, and tap the screen for hearts if that sounds good to you. Great. So, basics on table manners. Of course, Mom told us never put your elbows on the table. That's one. We talked about never attending to personal hygiene in public. That's something else you should never, absolutely never do at the table when you're eating. If you need to remove food from your mouth, then you would discreetly do that by putting the napkin in front of your mouth and removing it with your tongue. If you need to do more than that, where you're trying to pick up a fork or putting your fingernail in there, ladies, it's time to excuse yourself to the ladies' room and to remove that. You should not be picking your teeth in public. That's poor table manners as well. Or reapplying your lipstick. There are other things that you can do, talking with food in your mouth, or even talking like this because you have food in your mouth makes it difficult for me to hear you because you're blocking the sound, and I can't even watch your lips moving to understand what you're saying. So that's number 5, is displaying poor table manners. And the last one, number 6 of the 6 things that you should never do in public. Never be seen making a scene. And what I mean by that is sometimes we all get irritated or frustrated. You're in a bank line for a very long time, or you're at some other service desk and you have a complaint. You're traveling and the conversation escalates because you're frustrated and now you're making a scene. This is not good for your professional image. The other thing that I would say about not making a scene in public is happy hour. Okay, you're attending happy hour with a few friends or even your coworkers, and you have a little too much to drink and your behavior starts to change and you make a scene. That's not good for your professional image. So all of these things on the list is to help you to protect your professional image and mind your manners. So I'm going to review them very quickly, and then I'll let you know how you can get a copy of the full list in case you want to share it with others. So lessons 1 through 6 of things you should never do in public. Number 1, never attend to personal hygiene. Number 2, never discredit your company, your clients, or your competition. Number 3, never discuss confidential information in public. Number 4, Never hold people hostage to your cell phone chatter. Number 5, never display poor table manners. And number 6, never make a scene in public. I hope this has been helpful to you. It's a brief broadcast today. Again, I'm Michelle Powell with Professional Manner. I provide training in business etiquette, all things concerned with your workplace and your professional image. You can find me on Twitter at ProManner. You can also find other episodes that I've done so far on Periscope. I've actually uploaded them to my YouTube channel, which is Professional Manner, and my website. Here's where you can find these tips. Go to my website, professionalmanner.com, click on the Contact Us page, and make a request for the 6 things to never do in public, and we'll get that list out to you. This is my broadcast for today, and I want to thank you very much. Don't forget the 12 for 12, so please keep the hearts coming. Even if you're watching on replay, you can hit the button for hearts. I appreciate it very much. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great afternoon.